tour. You can see all my tour dates at KristinChirico.com. I'm going to be in Massachusetts for 2 dates, June 5th and 6th. Also, please sign up for my mailing list at KristinChirico.com. I have a bunch of dates that are going to drop soon for the third part of Baby Auntie Tour / the last part of the final babying.
The final auntie.
Yeah, so if you want to see the show live, this is kind of your last chance, is this year. But I'll have a ton of dates dropping soon, because I thought I was like, I'm not touring again this year. It turns out I am. Wait, hello.
Hi.
Hello. Wow. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
I like that before we start taping, we're just like, hey, what trouble did you get into in the last 48 hours?
I went to a den that may or may not have both kinds of mushrooms.
The ones that grow on the floor and the ones that make you happy. You're gonna go to this man's apartment and it's like you're descending down into the Nutty Buddy cave. You're basically a sure thing by that point. You're not gonna turn. I mean, unless there's like a body in there.
Yeah.
Was there a body in there?
No, it was just like bongs and weed, and then like looks like the kitchen has never been used, but there's workout equipment in there, like dumbbells and a yoga mat.
Just a hot man hole.
Yeah, a hot man hole. And like a green screen. I was like, what's that for? Like,
oh, I feel like every man during the pandemic was just like, I'm gonna make my own Bo Burnhams inside. And so, like, you kind of see, like, the relics of that. Like, it's sort of like the Roman ruins of, like, men's dreams from the pandemic. It's just, like, various green screens and,
note cards on the walls for the screenplay that never was written.
Yes. Like, puppets.
Puppets, yeah.
When Brie first moved here, she viewed an apartment that the room was actually just the landing of a staircase.
Shut up. The slumlords here really be doing anything.
$500 a month. They showed her the landing on the staircase. They're just like, here's a room. And she was just like, it has a floor, but like nothing else that would constitute a room. Like it only has like one, like
where was she supposed to put her clothes? Like under the stairs? Like
this is what they always do. People are just like, they make it work.
Wait, did we want to talk about Iran?
Yes. Okay. So top line, the thing we have to talk about. We need to talk about these propaganda Lego AI videos that are being put out by the government of Iran.
They're so funny.
I want to acknowledge top line that these are propaganda videos.
Yeah.
Like we know they're propaganda videos.
Yeah.
We understand their purpose. We understand like what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I'm viewing them contextually through the knowledge that I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are not immune to propaganda, like, you know, whatever. I've read the T-shirt, but like, you know, but, you know, because I'm sure people are going to be like, you're falling for it. And I'm like, yeah, here's the thing, though. They basically just did this, like, propaganda video where it's like, it's basically like a diss track about Pete Hegseth.
Yo, Pete Hegseth, this one's specially for you. You punk-ass rapist bitch.
Yeah.
But only talking about things that we all know he's done.
Yeah.
Oh, and also every character is a Lego guy. Yeah. If you're the head of comms for Lego right now,
you're freaking out.
Really? I was like,
you're
what do you do?
freaking out. You're freaking out.
Really?
Yeah, you're freaking out.
I would just be like, well, it doesn't really involve us.
It doesn't, but it's like it's also it's their brand. It's marketed towards children. We're talking about assault,
blowjobs.
Yeah. He's kissing Donald Trump's physically ass.
He is miming, he's miming giving head to Donald Trump.
BJ Queen.
It's so funny. But everyone knows that Lego didn't do this.
Of course. Well,
do people think Lego did this? Well, okay, here's the thing. I guess Lego is a Danish company, and Denmark isn't exactly like thrilled with the United States right now because of Greenland. And Legos are made out of plastic, which is a petroleum product. So maybe.
I don't even think people go that far in the logical jump. I think they just go, this looks pretty realistic. Lego must be choosing sides.
Listen, it looks so realistic that I was just like, I hate to say that an AI thing looks good. It truly curdles every cell in my body to say it. But the level of detail here is impressive, I will say.
Remarkable.
It's pretty impressive for an AI video.
I'm proud of my people on this one. I will say that. I think that like trolling Pete Hegseth is I don't feel a lot of connection to Iran, but I think this might be the deepest connection I have right now is them trolling our fascist government.
I do think it's funny that they wrote like a 4-page letter to the American people being like, we are not at war with the American people, we're at war with the American government, but that didn't work. And they're like, well, let's put out some fucking Lego videos.
Yeah, some Lego AI slop. They'll get it. Here's the thing, they know their audience. Like,
they did some words for the girls and Legos for the guys.
Yeah. Then literally it has like how many views on X does it have?
Oh, I mean, millions.
Yeah.
Millions.
2.4 million views. Yeah, they knew their audience.
This particular iteration of it. It's been reposted everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are kind of losing the propaganda war there, which like, we should. I mean, like, you know, it's not like this is.
No, we're on a sinking ship and it's going fast.
But I mean, I don't think I realized what a strong propaganda game Iran had.
Yeah, I don't think any of us.
This is a tight propaganda game.
Yeah.
Like, this is convincing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm not going.
Weren't they threatening to like release the Epstein file, like the actual unredacted Epstein files too?
Were they? Because that's
which I was like, please. Like,
from a PR perspective, I'm just like,
yeah. Please, I mean, do it.
Who's advising you?
Yeah, I mean, slay. I mean, like, kill
Please
it.
do it.
Please do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've sort of correctly grokked that, like, a majority of Americans are like, what is this?
Yeah.
Who is this for? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
In what universe does this help anyone or anything?
I also saw today that the New York Times published a op-ed from
John Bolton?
Yeah.
From John Bolton?
Yeah, from the guy who was saying we should go to war with Iran during the first Trump 1.0. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing, New York Times?
I mean, not John Bolton. The New York Times had to issue a correction in their print edition, in the A section of their print edition, because they called NATO the North American Treaty Organization. It is not that. It is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In the print edition of the New York Times, in the A section, in the headline. Like, absolute buffoonery.
Cooked.
Wild. Like just a failure on a level that, like, is not, like, I mean, I don't know. The New York Times is cooked. They've been cooked for a while.
They've been cooked for a while, but I was also just like, why would you have, like, I mean, I guess it's just more of the propaganda machine.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like, here's the thing. Every country has its own propaganda machine, right?
Yeah.
It's just that ours isn't very good.
I know. And how, honestly, it's so embarrassing. Like, our government is so embarrassing on so many different levels. This administration is such an embarrassment, such a fascist piece of shit. But also, too, they can't even propaganda right.
I know, right? We're so bad at propaganda.
It's so embarrassing.
It's like, really embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing to be this foul. Like, it's just,
So you propaganda. Okay. Do you know about Hanoi Hannah, right?
I don't think so.
Okay,
no.
so during the Vietnam War, there was a woman, I forget her name in Vietnamese, but like she was known colloquially as Hanoi Hannah.
Okay.
And because they basically would play loudly over like loudspeakers, basically demoralize. It was just basically like repeat demoralizing phrases to American GIs.
Got it. Okay.
To American GIs, or basically like along the lines of like your country doesn't care about you, GI. Like they'll only give you a medal once you're dead in the mud. Like who is this for, GI?
What
like,
a queen, slay.
Well, like, and the thing is, like, kind of recently, it should sort of like resurge as like as like sort of a part of the internet subtext of like talking about propaganda. Oh. Like it's so you'll hear it in like TikToks and stuff like that. So like somebody made a TikTok where it's just Hanoi Hannah, but it's just footage of inside the Rainforest Cafe.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my God, that's so funny. The Rainforest Cafe. Your country doesn't care about you.
GI. It basically is just like, give up, GI. Good, like. Shh. And there's just a big gorilla.
Yeah.
Surfing.
Yeah, literally. The Rainforest Cafe is such an interesting concept of a restaurant.
I think of Rainforest Cafe in the same way that I think of medieval times. And that's just like pure capitalism. It's basically like distilling down something that like is not fundamentally intended to bring us joy and like using it to sell cups.
Yeah, and mugs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like bad blankets for the beach.
Do you remember when like Rainforest Cafe was like the fanciest restaurant you could ever think of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese was too. Like,
Oh, I wasn't allowed to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
why was it pagan?
I think like I think my parents found it boring. I think they just didn't. We didn't go. I think I only went like maybe once as a child.
Yeah, no, I only went a few times, and it was
Yeah.
usually when like the nanny would take me. The few years we had a nanny when my mom was writing on Felicity.
Your mom, wait, okay, so much lore just dropped. One, you had a nanny. Two, your mom was writing on
My mom and dad were writing partners on Felicity. Yeah, that was
Your
our
parents
last.
wrote on Felicity?
Yeah, that was our last job in Hollywood. Was on Felicity.
Wait, in like the later seasons, like the earlier seasons?
Later, I think.
I didn't know your parents were TV writers.
Yeah, they became TV writers. Like they wrote together on like Pacific Blue, I think.
What?
The bike cop
No,
show.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Silk Stockings, the
What?
TV show, and then Felicity.
I did not know this.
Oh yeah. So they like teamed up as like writing. They would like write. They were writing partners. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. After my mom stopped acting, they went behind my.
I didn't know
behind
that.
me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So while
Okay.
they were on the television show, they obviously like needed childcare, and like we were fortunate enough to like be able to afford it at that time.
Yeah.
I remember too this is the first time I ever like clocked that like Hollywood made you money. And like you could get like special perks from it. I remember the wrap gifts for everybody on the cast. They gave everybody TiVos, and it like came to our house.
Oh, a TiVo?
A TiVo, yeah.
Okay, I heard Tebow, and I was just like,
yeah,
what the
Tim
hell is that?
Tebow came to our house. Yeah, they delivered him in a bag.
They're like, we don't want this anymore.
They're like, we don't want this anymore.
He's not a very good quarterback.
yeah, you can have him.
You can have him.
You're not returning next season, but you can have Tim Tebow.
He's your nanny now.
He's your nanny now. I know you really like Doris, but this guy's gonna do better.
Doris.
No, but they delivered like the TiVo to the house.
That's
I remember.
wild.
And
Is that where the house came from? Because I've kind of like I have sort of low key wondered that for a while. I'm like, how did you guys buy the house?
No, the house came from. So my dad's biggest credit was he produced and was in the most successful equity theater run in Los Angeles of Nuts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they ran for a year.
And I think like the reason why I asked this is because in Los Angeles, if you own a home, there's probably a story there.
Yes.
There's probably a reason why you own that home. It's
Yes.
not just like you worked hard and now you bought a home.
Here's the craziest part.
Yeah.
My dad bought the house when he was my age,
Are
29.
you fucking shitting me?
Yeah, and it was, I think, like $700,000 on the west side.
Give up, GI.
Yeah, give up GI.
Your country doesn't want you, GI.
Literally. So he
Yeah.
was able to purchase the home. That's now like, you know, thank
That's
God.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like in other places it's like it's a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
Like it's
no,
more,
here it's like,
yeah, but here it's like you own a house. Like there's got to be a story there. About,
Yeah.
'cause how'd you get that? Like what did you work on? What did your parents do? It's
Yeah.
it's like one of the two provinces of
Yeah.
like how you got the house.
It's also, I think, too, a testament when people like talk about how like the industry in Hollywood is like dying. Like I think people don't understand that like there was a very large middle class
Oh, yeah.
here in Los Angeles
Yeah.
of writers, you know, even like
below the line people.
Below the line people,
who
yeah.
all owned homes like in the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That like
for a long time.
This industry was able to pay you enough to like have, you know, if you worked enough, you
Mm-hmm.
were able to make a living. You know, you weren't. There were obviously people who, you know, directors and, you know, A-list actresses who were making, you know, millions of dollars. But then there was a large middle class in Los Angeles of people who worked in the industry, and all of that is gone now.
Yeah, now we are becoming basically Detroit. And I say
Yeah.
that in terms of like when an industry leaves a city.
Yeah.
Obviously, not to denigrate Detroit, but to
Yeah.
talk about like when an industry is like the central part of a city and then like evaporates.
Yeah.
And then like what does it leave?
What does it leave behind? I know Karen Bass slashed a lot of the permitting and costs there, but
I think it's too late.
but I think it's too late.
I think it's too late.
Unfortunately.
That's a little, okay, it's a little bit why, we can actually transition to talking about the pit now.
Yeah.
Because this is a little bit why I love Noah Wyle so much. Is
Yeah.
that like one of his big pet causes is basically like keeping productions in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I saw him speak to the city council
Yeah.
talking about how much they were able to receive from the tax rebates that they had implemented within the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And how they were able to put like most of the money that they received in the tax rebate back into the crew.
That's the thing. And it's like, I will always ride or die for Noah Wyle a little
Yeah.
bit because like he is making a hit show.
Yep.
He's making like one of the biggest shows in television.
Yep.
And it's employing hundreds of people, and he's making it in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And like that's dedication to like
Yeah.
the cause. And he's making a new season. He's basically making it so these hundreds of people are year-round employed.
Yep.
Because of the nature of the production of the show.
And it's a procedural, which means that there's like consistency in what, like they're not going to be having to take the show necessarily like outside of Los Angeles.
No, the show exists on a soundstage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they do fly to like they do exteriors in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, yeah, at the
but-
like children's hospitals.
No, it's like I think it's a regular hospital, I believe. I don't remember. I mean, it's like imagine you have to make a show where like you're making it all on one soundstage.
Yeah.
Like it's like
I think also too like the nature of shows now, like a lot of the time you see it, a lot of productions move to Canada because it's cheaper,
Yeah.
like, and they'll shoot in Canada, and like they're able to get cheaper permitting to like shoot outdoors in streets and like have those like outdoor shots that you're so like accustomed to seeing cheaper elsewhere outside of Los Angeles. And there
Yeah.
aren't many shows that the conditions allow them to just be shot on a soundstage the way the Pit is.
I know.
Which sucks because it
know.
means that like also too I often wonder like what are we doing with all those empty sound stages? They just sit there.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, are we filming commercials? I don't really know.
I don't think we're filming commercials there.
That
It's
is
too
true.
expensive.
You know where I know where we're filming commercials, and it's in downtown Los Angeles at 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know
Tokyo
that.
drifting downtown
It's
Los
when
Angeles.
some
Yeah.
random unmarked Hyundai is fucking Tokyo drifting down my street
Yeah.
with like about 800 people on a rig.
Yeah, with a giant strobe light.
Just
like,
a giant strobe light being like, look at this car.
Yeah.
It's $30,000.
yeah, and you can't afford food.
Eat the car.
Nom nom nom.
Anyway, we're talking about the Pit now.
I really liked too. Like I told you, two things.
Oh yes.
One, we were talking about this earlier, but like I think the Pit, like people's obsession with it and why it resonates so much with people is that like this idea of this medical drama where the stakes are so high that it is life and death. I think it mimics a level of severity that we feel in our day-to-day life just in existing. Economy's never been worse. You could be bankrupt by a medical emergency.
Yeah.
And I think art has to feel like an escape in some way, but I do also feel like it has to resonate in the emotions of what we're feeling day to day as a society, as a collective. And I think it is so interesting to look at an emergency room that is just full of death and horror and this heightened level of intensity and go, oh yeah, our day-to-day life also feels like this.
It's true. I think if art isn't an escape, it has to be an affirmation.
Yes.
I think it has
That's a great way to put it,
has to be one of the two things. And I
Yeah.
think that like the Pit is in a lot of ways both because it is affirmation in that it discusses like kind of the things that cause people to like suffer and die that are entirely preventable. But also it's a little bit of an escape because like it's a bunch of people who are like ruthlessly competent.
Yes.
Who are able to find answers to problems. I mean, honestly, like, so there was a plot line. Okay, so spoilers for the Pit from like episodes a while ago. So like, I don't know, watch the Pit or don't.
Yeah.
Also, to be really honest, I feel like the Pit is not a show. I don't feel like the Pit is a show that for the most part you can spoil. I don't think the experience of it is the plot. I think the experience of it is hanging out with the characters. But I understand that not everyone feels that way. But anyway, but there was an episode a few weeks ago where there was a woman, a Black woman who came in and had PCOS and had a cyst on her ovary. And do we talk about this already? Okay. Well, do we talk about this in like our lives already? Oh boy, buckle up. And as soon as she came in and she said, I have a pelvic pain and I have cysts, I turned to Brie and I was like, oh no. Because I was like, uh-oh. Because this season for me, earlier in the season, it was very much a lot of this season's been a lot of things that I've experienced personally, and I'm just like, oh, I don't love reliving this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not fun. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then what ended up happening to this woman is they were going to send her home, and then McKay decides to keep her. And then in the course of keeping her, the cyst caused a torsion around the ovary. And what would have happening? The reason why this woman was in a lot of pain is because the cyst was intermittently, basically cutting off the blood supply to the ovary.
And we've both had this happen to us.
Yeah, this happened to you too?
I didn't lose my ovary, but I
Okay.
had it happen to me as I was 13.
So
when
I was
it
the same
happened.
age.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was.
What?
It was the most. It was. I had a 7 centimeter.
Yeah.
On mine.
Yeah. Oh my God. We were the same. This both happened to us. We were the same age.
I didn't know it happened to you this young. For some reason, I thought it happened to you older.
No, I was 13.
Oh my
I was
God.
also 13.
Yeah, it
What?
was. Yeah, my dad had to take me to the hospital, and they're like, "Is she pregnant?" And he was like, "No,
She's pregnant.
yeah, yeah, literally.
Is she pregante? Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, so the thing is, I sat there and I was like, kind of, I don't know, this is so bitter, but I sat there and I was like, kind of mad, and I was just like, wow. This is sort of the best case scenario for this, is that she had a torsion, she was already in the hospital, and so they were just able to immediately treat it.
Yeah.
Because you had a torsion, you were taken to a hospital, and then what happened?
I was sat in the ER for hours. Then they finally did they did an ultrasound. No, I went to the pediatrician first. I had to go to the pediatrician first, and they like saw me and they were like, "This ain't good. Take her to the ER." Then I had to go to the ER, and because the way that the torsion happens, the pain is like it's like a pendulum.
Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
it
comes and goes.
It comes and goes.
Because it's not, the ovary is not like, it's not Velcro there. It's sort of, it's loosey goosey.
Yeah, it's loosey goosey. So
it's like whoop,
woo,
whoop, 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 whoop.
woo,
Yeah,
woo, and then but then over the course of just sitting there, you're like, you're in agony. I mean, it feels like your insides are being.
It feels
twisted.
it feels like you are being stabbed from the inside.
Yeah.
It's an unimaginably horrific amount of pain.
Yeah.
So, sorry, continue.
No. And so then, they went to the ER, and I'm in the ER screaming, and then that got people's attention pretty quickly. But you still have to wait, as you see in the pit. You have to wait your turn.
Yeah.
Like if you're
because
not,
you are able to scream. You are conscious and screaming.
Yeah.
Which means that you are not in as worse shape as someone who can't scream anymore.
who can't scream anymore. Yeah. So you have to wait, and you wait for hours and hours and hours, and then you finally get the ultrasound. Then the ultrasound has to be read, and unless you're like that woman who was like, convulsing. And I think also then too, she like lost consciousness for a second, right?
I think like she was just screaming. I think like they just happened to have an ultrasound machine there.
Right.
And McKay was just like, let me just look at, I think like it was just, there was a confluence of things that went right.
Right.
And even in a horrific situation, there was a confluence of things that went right.
Yeah.
That made it so it was not as bad. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, and so I was able to get the ultrasound. But what was scary about mine was I had a piece of what we learned later was organic matter inside the cyst.
Oh, yeah.
So it was read as a tumor.
Was it? Oh my God! The exact same thing happened to me.
Really?
The exact same thing happened to me.
This is crazy.
How
How
have we never talked about this? This is crazy. What?
It was organic matter too for you?
Yes.
That's wild.
My parents thought I had cancer for a month and a half.
Me too.
And no one told me.
What? No. Oh my God. I was freaking out. I was like, I have cancer. I'm going to die.
No, my parents knew I had cancer for a month and a half, told all my friends' parents.
That you had cancer?
Who told all their kids. So everyone knew I had cancer, but I did. But me, yeah.
That's terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know till later, so not really. It was terrifying for them. It was really terrifying.
That's crazy to tell everyone but you. It's like the opposite of HIPAA. It's like truly the opposite of HIPAA.
Oh, I don't have a good pun. It's
NIPA.
It's NIPA. The opposite of HIPAA. That's so funny. Wait, okay, so then you were in the ER, and then they did the ultrasound, they read the ultrasound, and then
they're like, we have to take a sample of it.
Okay.
Of some side. I don't even remember how they did that.
Okay.
Or it was like some sort of blood test or something. They ran
Sure.
some sort of test to like see if it was cancer. It turned out it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
like organic matter. And then they put me on birth control to shrink it.
Okay.
So I started to go on birth control really, really young, and that fucked with my hormones for years.
Well, question for you. It was a torsion, right? So they had to go in and tack it down.
the pain had subsided enough that they didn't want to end up doing a surgery because they were like, if the birth control works to shrink it, we're not gonna take it down.
And it worked.
And it worked.
It worked, but
it was painful
painful, and also it affected you in other ways.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, what this is, I feel like if you watch my channel, you know this story, but if you don't watch my channel, I had like, I think the worst case scenario, like just the worst thing. Because what happened was, it was like same thing where it's like, oh, I have pain. And then I got taken to a doctor and they kind of ignored it. And then I got taken home. And then I was like still in pain. And then my dad, we were supposed to go visit my grandfather. And my dad did not want to cancel that trip. So I'm still in perfect amounts of pain. They put me on a plane. I am not able to walk by this point. I am like crawling. I'm crawling. I am at my grandparents' house.
How did they send you home?
Oh, buckle up. So I'm like crawling around, and then like no one takes me to the hospital. This goes on for like 10 days.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
No one takes me to the hospital. We get on the flight back. Basically, like the intermittent torsion basically like finished the job because it was twisted around and the pressure from the airplane caused it to just crush the ovary. So like my ovary basically died in the middle of the flight, in the middle of like a commercial airlining flight.
My ovary dying on United Airlines is the most horrific thing I've ever heard.
Yes, it was a horrific.
How do you ask for a refund? For that.
What's the plane's fault? I mean, here's the thing is I remember like, it's like, and my mom was like she was very smug about this because she was just like, I told you all there was a problem. And my dad is very like sheepish about it because I think he knows that this is like, of his many parenting mistakes, this is probably
the worst.
In the top 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the worst, but it is in the top 3.
Yeah.
Which should tell you something. But like, and I think he feels bad, but I think that he cared more about making his dad happy than about his child who could not walk. Yeah, it was horrific. It was really terrible. And then they had to emergency land the plane.
Oh my God.
Well, so how'd that work? Okay, so to be clear, it wasn't like we landed in like a cornfield. To be clear. So when I tell people that, they're like, there's a type of emergency landing where they basically like clear the air traffic.
Yeah.
So because like we were close enough to our destination where it didn't make sense to divert the plane.
Yeah.
So like they basically just cleared all the air traffic. So like the plane got in way earlier than it would have because all the other planes had to like circle.
Yeah.
Well, this plane.
Is it, and they did that because like you were.
Oh, they had called 911. I was taken off the plane on a stretcher and in an ambulance to the hospital.
Were you unconscious?
No, I was conscious. I was conscious.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
I was conscious.
That's even worse that you were conscious.
I remember all this. It's funny, I was talking to my dad about it later. He's like, yeah, I just remember feeling so bad for you. And I was just like,
hello?
I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yo, you feel bad for me now? I was like, what is just like no brain cells. Just like absolute, like no one at the wheel. Just like, I can't.
Oh my God.
No one at the fucking wheel.
Oh
just
my God.
Absolutely. So anyway, so then I go to the hospital and then they figure out that like, I don't understand the timeline exactly what happened, but they were like, I think they were like, okay, yeah, there's a torsion, but there's nothing we can do about it. I don't know why, but like, they didn't do anything about it at the hospital that night. And then I had basically the next day I went to like a gynecological, I didn't know this, but I went to a gynecological oncologist who examined me and then basically pulled my parents aside and were just like, I'm pretty sure this is cancer. And they were like, but we can't do surgery on it for like a month and a half.
Why? Just
scheduling. Just because like that's when you get cancer, you don't have. I mean, sometimes you get surgery right away, but sometimes you gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta wait. So I'd wait was it a month and a half? I don't know. It was about a month. But anyway, so then, and then like I have a scar. I have a really gnarly scar. Basically, like every gynecologist who has seen the scar has been like, they had no idea what they're looking for. They truly were like, they had no idea what they're gonna find in there. It's a laparotomy scar. It's like, it's straight down my stomach. They would never do a surgery like that today. Like unless it was like some sort of like trauma situation. It's like, it's a gnarly scar.
Yeah, even with mine, they were like, if we do take it out, it'll be laparoscopic.
No, they did a full laparotomy. They fully thought they were opening up my abdominal cavity to find just like lots of cancer. They were like, they wanted to do like a full, like that's how sure they were.
What were they using, like echolocation instead of ultrasound? Like, what the fuck?
They just didn't know. They just didn't know. They had no idea they were going to find. That's what every gynecologist has told me. And if you're a gynecologist, you can verify this. But every gynecologist has told me that like this is the type of scar you get when the people doing surgery on you have no idea what they're about to find. When they basically just want to cover their bases and like.
Oh, and make sure they get
everything.
Oh,
when they just like,
okay.
oh no, it wasn't a matter of like they don't know what they're doing.
They
don't even know what they're looking for.
They don't even know what they're looking for.
Yeah, because
right?
like with laparoscopy, it's precision, right? You know, what you're looking for. You go. They basically just wanted to open up and be like, what is going on in here?
Wow.
And so yeah, it was a gnarly scar. I was in the hospital for like a few days. This is not on our list of things at all.
This is crazy though.
Yeah, no, I've told you this story. I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital. I was 13. I was the youngest person on the oncology ward. Again, I did not have cancer, but I was still on the oncology floor. And one day, a nurse brought in a woman who was like probably in her 50s. It was just like basically wanted to show this woman me to basically show her like
it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, to basically use me as like a. See?
I'm sorry.
Shit's not that bad.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but that's so dark. Oh, God.
It's so... I truly cannot believe that was allowed. Every person I tell that to, every medical professional I tell that to, we're like, where were your parents? Yeah. And I'm like, I actually don't know because I think they were there.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't.
They were like, she's right.
It was also so mean to me, so mean to the lady, because it's not like it's like, oh, it could be, you still have cancer.
Yeah.
And she actually had cancer.
Yeah.
I was just there.
Yeah.
I was just one ovary down, which like I wasn't going to use it anyway, so who cares?
It was actually an Uno reverse situation where in fact
where it's like actually could be one.
Yeah, it was actually,
The nurse was trying to show both of us. Hey.
It's like one of those interpretive dances where your guys are like mirroring each other and you realize like it was you all along.
Sisters. So dark. Yeah, anyway, God. So this is probably, I would say, the single most, I talk about it a lot, but it is the single most influential thing that has ever happened to me, I think.
Wow.
It is probably my villain origin story. Yeah. It's probably where...
I mean, to be ignored like that.
Yeah, to be ignored, well, I wasn't even thinking of it like that. To be ignored like that, and then like also, I spent a lot of time managing the nervous systems of everyone around me.
Oh, Jesus.
Because everyone around me was like a nutcase about this. And I basically, also at the same time, my grandmother was dying.
Great.
Of cancer. So like that was like just kind of running in the background.
Right.
That was the
background track.
That was the background track of what was happening here.
Yeah.
Because like maybe a month after I had the surgery, my grandmother died. So that was also happening. But like, yeah, it was, no, this was a formative moment. It was when I kind of learned, it was when I learned that I needed to like be interesting. It was when I learned how to be funny. It was when I learned how to manage people's nervous systems. It's when I learned that like, basically if I'm not as loud as possible, I will be ignored. I learned a bunch of very bad lessons that unfortunately have served me phenomenally well.
Yeah. I mean, they're survival mechanisms.
I know.
I mean, you were in a survival mode.
Yeah.
You had to, I mean, those things, yes, they might be, be as loud as possible in order to like keep you safe, but it's to keep you safe.
Yeah.
I
had no idea that like the same thing had happened to you. That is wild.
But I mean, what breaks my heart is like, I mean, maybe also, what year did this happen?
1997.
Okay, yeah. See, mine was like late 2000s. Like, so like, I wonder if like medical stuff also had something to do with it.
I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
I think that like the last 20, 25 years have been very significant in terms of like a lot of women's healthcare.
Yeah.
Or at least like healthcare for people who have ovaries and uteruses and I don't know like what you would call, I don't know like the ungendered term for all of that, but like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's something that like when I watched that episode, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because I was prepared for like a horrible thing to happen.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, a horrible thing was happening. This woman was in pain, but it was just like, I kind of was like, that's it? You just survived.
Yeah, you just survived.
Made it. Everyone did. It's like there's a South Park episode, and that I think of a lot. It's a South Park episode where they buy like ninja weapons. It's like a really old one where they buy ninja weapons. And somebody in like, I forget who, but like somebody throws like a ninja throwing star into Butters' eye. And so they spend the whole episode basically trying to like avoid getting in trouble and like trying to like help Butters, but like not take him to the doctor.
Yeah.
So they take him to like the vet. They dress him up like a dog. They take him to the vet. And when I watched it, I always think like, oh, I was like me. It was like basically it was like everything except the thing.
Except the thing, yeah.
Oh my God.
Because that was also that's actually a really good point about like and how the evolution of like medical treatment for women, because after they were trying to avoid not like having to have surgery on my ovary. That was really their goal. It's because I was so young at the time.
You also don't want scar tissue.
You don't want scar tissue.
Yeah.
So they sent me to a gynecologist here who specializes in like hormone treatment and therapy.
Oh.
And so she was able to prescribe me like a certain birth control that was designed to target and shrink the
copy.
cyst.
Interesting.
And she's like a specialist in her field, Dr. Cynthia Watson. Shout out your G. And my mom ended up going to her for hormone treatment, like through menopause and stuff. And like that is her specialty. So like I was sent to her from that experience to like get treatment. And I think that's part of that evolution of medical treatment. Yeah.
That's so wild to me that also your parents are not like just all parents have the things that are a thing.
Yeah.
Your parents are not like destructively dysfunctional the same way mine are. Mine are dysfunctional in a way that like I do not know how Child Protective Services were not called. Like where I'm just like I mean because I don't know why, but like there are multiple times where I'm just like, yeah, I guess you guys just got away with that.
Yeah.
All right.
As you're on the stretcher off the plane.
Literally, so it's like it.
But I think too, circling back to the pit, like there was a lot of.
That's how this started.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Circling back to the pit, I think there was a lot of like. What I loved about the show is they talk about a lot of the biases in medical practice.
Yes.
That I was not aware of.
Really?
And I was aware of it, but I wasn't aware of how it transpired. I think
like what it looks like on the ground.
Yes, on the ground.
Like you know,
inherently logically.
People tell you about it, but you don't obviously because it's not your lived experience,
right?
So like you don't know what it looks like for that person,
right? Especially when it's like when there's an issue, right?
Yeah,
and then how that bias plays into it. And the lack of treatment, right? When there's clearly other issues going on, and that bias is underneath it for not only that black woman and who was suffering from the ovarian cyst,
who Whitaker almost sent home,
right?
Yeah,
like
Whitaker,
Whitaker. I know you're a Welsh guy hiding.
You he's like 35 or something.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Okay, wait. Also, side note. So I had a brief tryst with a doctor that I met off field, and he was telling me, he's like, The Pit is an incredibly medically accurate show because they have obviously all these doctors and whatever on staff. And he was like, there's a character in it that like everybody says I remind them of. And I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's Whitaker. Like you look like him, like talk like him. Very same backstory. This guy didn't come from a family of doctors either.
Why did you stop fucking him?
Myriad of reasons, but
We'll just
mainly scheduling. If I'm quite honest, it was mainly scheduling. He's a resident. He was literally Whitaker. Like he was a
scheduling
like
issues.
It was really hard to see him, and I was just like, I can't be doing.
You're dropping out of the project because of scheduling issues.
Truly, yeah. I was like, we can't move forward. Circle back when you're in your R3 and things lighten up a little bit.
Did you show me a picture of this guy after we're done taping?
I'll see if I can find one.
You don't have. Okay, you need. First of all,
I'll find one.
Anyway,
I found it. But yeah, it was funny just because he was like, I was like, oh yeah, you really are Whitaker. But yeah, no, I do think I really liked. The other thing I really liked about the show, there's no music in it.
Yes.
And that was a conscious choice.
Well, there is music in it.
but not like with the emotional, like high intensity
the music
scenes.
is the music. The music is at the very end. Of the episode. And to signal that we are at the very end of the episode. I don't know if they're actually, are they doing that this season? So last season, like every episode, like once you heard like a little bit of music, you're like, all right, we're about to hit the credits.
I don't think they did it this season.
So this season, I feel like they're not doing it as much.
I don't remember.
But that was the only place where they used music. It's basically to like indicate that we are about to hit like an end of episode situation.
And did you know why?
Why they did that?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Noah Wiley talked about it. He said it was because the phones.
Oh,
he said he saw his kids watch TV, and every time the music came on to indicate some sort of like emotional feeling or whatever, they'd tune out and go on their phones because they knew what was coming.
Oh.
So to keep phone time low, he didn't add any music to it.
Oh, I heard. So another reason he gives is because he like it's like the music is sort of the musicality of everyone talking about like running through conditions. It's like the music of everyone talking to each other in like the course of the trauma or talking to each other in the course of like presenting their cases. Like the music is sort of like the rhythm of like everyone working together.
Oh, I love that.
Like it's kind of like it doesn't require like the ER. Like have you watched ER?
I've seen a few episodes, but it wasn't something that I was like consistently.
Yeah, it's like I did like a rewatch. I did like a rewatch recently. I kind of lose steam around, which if you watch ER, you know what I'm talking about. I lose steam around when Mark Green dies, which is like around 2002. And the show started in 1994. So like I lose steam around season 8. But that show ran until like 2009.
That's crazy.
So it ran a long time, but like that is the thing that ER did. ER would be like basically like someone would be like he has heart. His heart is exploding, and there would be like, and it would be like
over the top.
It'd be so much. It would just be like spinning and circle. I mean, oh my god, there's a lot of spinning. I mean, there's a very 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 famous scene. There's a character who gets stabbed. This is like a very, very, like probably one of the most famous episodes of ER is Noah Wiley's character has a med student who basically gets stabbed to death, and also he gets stabbed.
Oh wow!
At the same time, and during a party, and everyone misses it, and so like they both get like whisked up to basically save them, and Noah Wiley obviously lives, and his student dies. And in the course of like trying to save, the scene of like the doctors trying to save this med student, basically the camera just like kind of tracks like they're being like it's like the cameraman's being chased by a badger around the room. Basically, it's just like they just kind of follow them in circles in a way that's like very like disorienting and very just like it's the idea that like this code is like, or this resuscitation rather is like circling the drain, but like in a very like over the top way. Yeah. I appreciate that the Pit does not do that. The Pit is just like, well, he died.
Yeah. But they do like, you know, I think you see the medical students really grappling with the death, and like I think that's a really.
And it hits you harder. Like there's the spoiler for the episode that aired. This is not going to come out till next week, but the spoiler for the episode that aired last Thursday. There is a moment where like they're trying to figure out like what happened to Ogilvy. Are you caught up?
I haven't watched last night.
Never mind. I will not tell you this because this is a spoiler for last night's.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
But like they'll basically casually drop into conversation like, oh, that person died.
Yeah.
Like they'll casually drop into this is the person in the show that we've met.
Yeah.
Who we followed. Like the guy who got the burns all over his body.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
Or they'll mention casually like the patient, like the fat patient from earlier this season who like had to be intubated while awake. And there was like a 50-50 chance that he would die. Like they casually mentioned, oh, he lived.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's just very like it was very bleak if you miss it. They mentioned that like I had to actually rewatch the episode to catch.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, they mentioned like very briefly like, oh, he made it through surgery. He lived.
Yeah, I wish they would have like a little photo, like the guy, like the
this is who lives.
Yeah. Like at the end, they have like a death count at the end of the episode,
like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
This is who's still alive.
Yeah. Jesse's requesting that for next season just so that she can keep track. She's not good with names. Okay, should we do advice questions?
Yes.
Thank you guys for submitting your advice questions. Keep them coming. tinyurl.com/nightsschooladvice.
I absolutely want to talk about the first one. Okay. I've been able to avoid it until now, but my new boss's boss loves AI and is really pushing to integrate it into our work, doing trainings, etc. I'm full stop anti-AI, and I can tell my coworkers don't know about the deep issues. They all love the little yes machine. I'm losing it. Coping strategies, I need this job and otherwise love my team and like my work. I'm just waiting for the damn bubble to pop. Okay, so here's the thing. I also hate AI. I also do not use it. And the thing is that like it's insidious at this point, right? Like it creeps into things that you would not even think of. Like a few months ago, we did take down a video on Kitchen and Jorn because if there was a stock image that was AI generated, and our editor hadn't realized it and basically put it in there, and like we obviously didn't think of it either. It was just like
because now on Adobe Stock they have AI images as like
AI images
as a part of the
and
options.
they're not all marked very well. And so like and someone clocked it and we were kind of like we would never do that. Like why would? And then we went back and like it was an AI image. And it was just like even when you're trying to avoid AI, it just kind of finds its way into like the bullshit now. That is to say, you are right. The bubble will pop. There is not enough capital to continue AI scaling the way that it is. It is not making enough money. Too many wieners are generating little videos of their ex-girlfriends as hot dogs. And there's no money in that, turns out. And millions and millions of wieners are doing that. So, I think you are correct that the bubble will pop. And I think like that's another larger issue because like when the AI bubble pops, I do suspect it will feel similar to when the housing bubble popped, but that's another thing. That is to say, yes, you do just kind of need to be patient. There's just not enough capital for it to continue at scale. It's not making any money. It's just that's the long, the short. Yeah, like there can be all these like great technological advancements or whatever, but like if these advancements are not making money, they're not going to continue. That's it. That's the end. So I think you kind of have to play the game a little bit. It sucks that you have to play the game. I think that a good thing to start doing is to make a note of all the time you're spending correcting what the AI fucked up.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You need to keep like a really, really tight log of all the time you are spending fixing the AI's mistakes, because I guarantee you there are a ton of them. Because like that is the deal, right? AI doesn't like pop out perfect. AI pops out full of bugs and then you have to debug it. So like I think that like just keeping a log of that and keeping your manager apprised of that, I think is really smart, because I think over time, you want to show, because like the idea is that the AI is more efficient, but like if AI isn't more efficient, then it isn't more efficient. It's a money thing. You got to play the game, I think.
Yeah, I think do the trainings, check your boxes, like check the boxes, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but on paper, at least act as if you are learning about it.
If you have to use it, you have to use it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I since us talking about it, I have reduced, I would say, my use of it by, I would say, close to 80%.
I would say, I'm really annoying like that. I tend to, when someone tells me they're really into AI, I'm just like,
it's not that I'm into it. It's that, as you so eloquently put when we talked about it during the AI debate, my job has forced me into a position where I am overworked, and I have to unfortunately sacrifice some of my morals in order to.
You're backed into a corner.
I'm backed into a corner.
You're backed into a corner, and that happens.
Yeah. So I have reduced it in the ways that is like where I don't really need it, and then, I still have to do the trainings. My job is hot on AI. Every
job is hot on AI.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like 6 years ago, every job was hot on VR. 3 years ago, every job was hot on fucking NFTs.
My one fear, though, is the VR was actually harder to implement in like meaningful ways, whereas AI, the little yes machine.
It is the little yes machine, but here's the thing. The little yes machine categorically is not making money.
No, I agree. I just but it's not stopping. There's not the like user difficulty that VR had and AR had.
Well, they all have different. So they're
Do
all
you know
gonna,
what I mean? Like where it's like it's more accessible with
it's
the
a different
AI.
problem.
And I'm not saying that I'm not. It's not I'm not saying that in defense of AI. I'm
No,
saying
no,
that
you're saying it as a worry or as like
as a concern.
As a concern, yeah. And I think that concern, I wouldn't worry about that because I think it's just like it's yes, they're all trends that died and they all died for different reasons. But like ultimately, if you kind of like boil it down, the reason why they all died is because it wasn't making money. The reason why it's not making money, you're getting to there by different points.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the whole like Sora thing shutting down, the whole like Disney, like that's like the canary in the coal mine. I think everyone should be looking at that and being like, like one of our big American legacy brands has basically said no.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like one of our big American legacy creative brands has said no. And I feel like that should be, I feel like some bosses should be paying more attention to that.
How do you know when you need to limit your relationship with your family / go no contact instead of taking it? I don't have many people in my corner that I trust, and it feels too hard to not speak with my parents and family when I have so few people in my life that I love and trust and that I know love and trust me.
So building a village and building a network of friends and building like a cadre of people who love you is a lifelong process.
Yep.
It's a lifelong process. It's a long game. It's a really long game. The time will pass anyway. So it's just a question of whether or not you want to do the work of doing it. It is hard. It is very hard. It's super hard. I cry about this all the time. Like this is, as someone who is no contact with one of my parents and honestly not even really by choice low contact with the other one. It's just that the other one doesn't really like talking to me. So it's like we're kind of low contact just because they don't care. Like, so it's, you know, it's like I wish that they cared. That would be cool. That would actually solve a lot of problems for me. But they don't. So what are you gonna do? It's really hard because it makes you feel alone. It makes you feel alone. Like oh my God, this is so like feeling sorry for myself. But like I was like watching like a TikTok of something where like, you know, I think like something, you know, about like somebody dying or something. And like, I think like someone in the comments was just like, you know, it's really great that they're being respected in this way. Cause like that was somebody's baby. And in my brain, I was just like, oh, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like to be somebody's baby. I know what it's like to be somebody's possession. I know what it's like to be somebody's obligation. I know what it's like to be somebody's void with which to throw in their feelings, but I don't know what that's like to be somebody's baby. And it's a deep wound. It's a deep wound. So much so that you're willing to go back to the people who continuously hurt you because like you'll do anything.
Yeah.
Anything to avoid the knowledge that there is nothing there. And so I know why you keep going back. I understand why you keep going back because like the idea of accepting that there is nothing there is honestly like soul killing and terrifying and awful. I have been there. I have been there. That is, I would say that's kind of where I was. I will say I got really lucky because I left high school and I was like, basically had no one. And then I met my best friend like in the entire world, who's still my best friend in the entire world, who I saw like 8 hours ago. Like my first month of college. And like we were such best friends that like we stayed best friends through my transferring to school, through my going to London, going to a different grad school. We moved out here to LA together. Like we have known each other and we have been extremely close for like 23 years. Like I know, like a really long time. Oh, you met her. She was at my birthday party.
Oh.
Yeah. She is my friend with the very hot husband.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I love how that was the identifying mark.
She's lovely.
She's very lovely. She's incredibly lovely. She's very smart, very lovely. Like just, I mean, but like it can't start until you start it. And it takes a while and it takes a long time, but like you can't keep going back to the poison well. The poison well is not going to feed you. It's only going to keep poisoning you. It's not going to get better. But I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's easy. It's not easy. It's actually really hard. It's really painful. It will always be painful. It's painful for me, right? Like I have so many close friends. I have a vast network of women who care deeply for me and who love me very much, who would do anything for me. I know that. I'm aware of that. I'm very, very blessed for it. But like, that's a network of people that I built over 20 years.
Yeah.
Over 20 years. Like, and it's like, I pick someone up like probably once every like 5 years. Because I picked you up like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I picked you up like 2 years ago. I picked Jen Ruggiero up like in 2018. I picked up my friend Jackie in like 2008. Like I add like somebody new to the roster.
Every 5 years.
Yeah, to the roster. But like
You gain an infinity stone.
I gain every 5 years I gain an infinity stone. I want to be able to do this and just get rid of half of our parents. But yeah, anyway, so go ahead.
No, I think, I think you said it beautifully. It takes time to find people that you love and trust, and like, I think mentors, if you are in a place where you have worked on yourself enough to heal those wounds, and you can seek out mentors that don't necessarily fill the emotional wound, but can fill the lack of like, you feel like you can't trust anyone with guidance. Like, it's a slippery slope, because I think you can sometimes put that trust in mentors who are not good. But if you're able to find somebody that can provide guidance in a safe and healthy, balanced, boundaried way, I think that can be a really great source of helping fill the void where it feels like I have no one to go and talk to and ask questions. Like you're that for me. It's like finding that you are like my guidance in that way.
Yay.
Yeah, like you know that. I've told you this before. Trying to fill that void and feeling like I don't have anyone to ask questions, or I don't have like or support
like,
or guidance.
who would I ask?
Who would I ask? Like that, I feel like is always the most lonesome part.
Yeah.
Because like the truth is like you're never gonna find somebody to like replace that love that you didn't get from your parents. But it's like I think there are like little things you can do to help build that community around you that can at least provide you love and support and that you can trust to provide some of the building blocks around it, you know?
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to fill that hole, but can you fill in with the bricks?
You can epoxy it. You're not like, it's not going to be the way it looked originally.
Yeah.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's going to be better.
Way better aesthetics, tone, look, feel, vibe.
Can I give some practical advice on this?
Yeah.
Some practical advice. So I would like for you to start doing some things. You don't have to go out in person and meet people, because I realize that's wild. Join a Discord. Get really into join a Discord. Join a subreddit. Get really into fandom stuff. That's stuff you can do online. If you are a little bolder, start an Instagram, make other Instagram friends. I think making internet friends is like honestly a really like low stakes way of making real friends, because you can make Instagram friends with people in your city. And like, are there like community organizations whose Instagrams you can join, where you can be like apprised and in that community too? I think that like I'm not gonna tell someone like show up for softball league, because like I'm not doing that. Like carrot, like, because then you have to go to talk to people. It's like really awful. But I think that like using the internet to sort of like soft launch yourself into those spaces is a really like low stakes way of like getting in the door in a way where you don't feel rejected right away. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you guys for watching. Kristin, plug.
Hi, I'm going on stand-up tour. You can see my tour dates and also sign up for my mailing list at KristinChirico.com. Please do that. It's how I know where to tour. I cannot tour if there are not people on that mailing list. That's it.
Okay, and then if you've watched this long, we're just starting. For the OGs, for the ones that have like really stuck around.
Yeah.
I'm putting this hat on because we're gonna start selling merch very soon.
Look at this.
Look at this merch.
This. Look at this. Look how cool it is.
Cantina, okay?
Cantina. She's my favorite Disney princess.
It's my favorite Taco Bell flavor.
Okay,
Cantina.
I love that taco.
Meaty.
It's Baja Bass flavored. Go ahead.
We have a huge announcement coming. If you watch this long, it's coming. We can't really announce much yet, but it is coming.
Next episode?
I think next episode.
We can do it.
We can do it.
Yeah.
It is Huge.
Yeah.
Biggest in this show's history. We're so, so excited. If you live in the Los Angeles area, mark your calendars for the first week of May. That's all I got to say.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.